Om Shanti, and welcome, Brother Gokul. Lovely to have you here. And I just wanted to have a brief introduction for Brother Gokul. BK Brother Gokul is from New Jersey, USA. He's been practicing Rajyoga meditation for more than 30 years. Wow, that's so wonderful. He's also a meditation teacher whose sessions are a blend of deep spiritual insights with a sense of humor. So I'm very curious to know more about this humorous side, brother. He coordinates sessions for youths, gives radio talks on spirituality, and conducts workshops on the metaphysical existence of the human spirit. A simple soul is how he likes to describe himself, and he's also an IT consultant by profession. So we're really looking forward to this talk on bonding of divinity by BK Brother Gokul. Over to you, brother.
Om Shanti. Is my voice audible? Testing, check.
Yes.
Yes, good, great. Thank you again for that beautiful introduction. And except for the last line, the rest is all added. The simple soul is who we are, and I am, and nothing more to it, and nothing less. And when Raki Ben gave this topic, it was so interesting, bonding of love. Somewhere I started to think on this and asked my question, from when did bonding of love ended up being as bondage of love? Right? Today the world, there's no bonding. It's more of a bondage of love. And if every day we do a commentary, we learn, we go to Baba, we sit, we come back. Let's rewind those moments and figure out what happens. What exactly are we doing? Through your mind, you travel to another plane. You travel and go be with Baba. And right now, imagine you're all with Baba there in the golden bright light soul world. You're there. You are with Baba. What bondage do you have? What bonding do you have? Nothing. You won't even know there's Baba there, but you are there. Now, from that absolute still stage, absolute still, silent. Forget about the body, even the thoughts doesn't exist. There's no intellect to discern the thoughts. And there are no sanskars which are coming out. It's all still, it's all silent, it's all dead. And from that point, what happened? Somewhere you started your journey down below here. Right. And when this downward journey happened, I don't know whether I should say downward, upward, because from that dimensionless area, when a journey happens, there's no direction. For direction, you need coordinates. And for coordinates, you need time and distance. And it's a place beyond all that. But from somewhere we started this journey, the Big Bang happened. The light burst out, came. And through its journey, somewhere it passed through a subtle region. Because at that moment, the subtle region was there, wasn't there. Still a debate in BK world too. But that's okay. For our instance, we will say we went through a region, and first bondage which happened was we took a body of light. Right, interesting. A little soul, that little tiny speck of star, when going through that, we took a body of light. That's the first bondage we are getting into. And after that, taking that body of light, you just went further. You discovered this place and boom, you are here. And here you have another bond with the elements, and then bond with the body. Imagine, even before I uttered a word from this world, in this world, the bonding starts to happen. Bondage start to happen. It depends on which age the soul started to take its journey, right? If it's golden and silver age, then maybe bonding. If it's maybe I'm not fortunate enough, or some souls out there is not fortunate enough, who are coming from the soul world, right? Even to this day, there are few souls coming from that. So it's bondage. Even before we uttered a single word, there's all this bondages into the subtle body, into the five elements, into a tiny squeezed little lump of body hosted in another body. And you come out and begins a journey. Right. Interesting. And that journey then takes you through different experiences, and each experience will start to add to this bond. Right? So many bonds. So in all these bonds, when you take all these bondages or bondings, the first question to ask is why? Why the soul want to get into a bondage? Why is it that the soul should get into a bondage? Because the more you think on it, the more you think on understanding a bond, it all boils down to one word. Bond equals to experience. Each bondage you are getting into, it gives you an experience. I'm not saying whether it's good or it's bad, it can be anything. But it gives you an experience, it puts you into an experience. An experience is always either it makes you happy or it gives you a lesson. Right. So now look at the soul's journey, which we all did, and it came to confluence age. Now we are here, very few souls, right? What is this confluence age? There is no such age as confluence age. It is age within an age, right? At this very moment, it's around 5 a.m. a Sunday in India. 5 a.m. Sunday, who will wake up? If you ask this question out there, they will say, who will wake up at 4:45, 4 o'clock, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., right? So the one who wakes up, it's morning for them. So too is our confluence age. The one who wakes up, this is awakened. That is confluence age. That's for us. And in this confluence age, we chose to get into a certain bondage. Bondage means void of freedom. Somewhere you relinquish your freedom. Because somewhere we thought freedom equals to being wild. Right? You look at the world. I want to be free. What are they actually saying when they say I want to be free? Those days were the days where you had all these stalwarts fighting for a freedom of a country, a nation, a piece of land. Nowadays, when a teenager says, I want to be free, I want freedom, that means he wants to be wild. Being wants to be wild. Right? Well, it's their journey, but the whole point is somewhere you are all deciding, I want to get into a bondage. What's the bondage? The bondage is not to sleep. The bondage is not to eat. The bondage is not to speak certain words. The bondage is you're limiting yourself. Interesting. We choose to limit ourselves. And in that limit, there is something which is liberating. Think on it. I just use this word, just sit on that word again. Limiting makes you liberated. Interesting, right? Think on it. Just sit with this line. Early, fresh in the morning, you are here. Somewhere you decided to be limited. You have many choices. You started this to be with God. Wake up early in the morning. Liberated. You're being liberated from a lot of things. Sitting yourself, beating yourself to a point of total stillness, total silence. Nothing but stillness. Connecting to something beyond. Interesting. I saw a video just a couple of days back where a professor was explaining to a college students. It was a little video where they say how to approach a solution, to get to a solution. It was a very interesting 1 minute club. And the professor was emphasizing on the concept of silence. He said, when you are encountered by a problem which you think you cannot solve or you cannot face, something which is overwhelming, what you do is take this 1 hour silence challenge. So professor saying, a well-known university, he said, just sit in silence. By the time you hit the 15-minute mark, there will be restlessness. The moment you hit around 30-minute mark, that restlessness slowly subdues. The moment you hit around the 45-minute mark, you are realigned and solutions will start to come. Amazing solutions will come. And in the entire life of you, you would have never been in that state of silence. Sit with this now. Second thing to sit with, think on, ponder upon. And how much our Baba is training us to be in silence. We do traffic control on the hour, a minute. And then we have 5 different traffic controls of 3 minutes. On top of that, early morning, there is a solid 45 minutes to an hour silence. In the evening, there is another 1 hour of Numashan. No wonder you are all going to be embodiment of solutions. Is there any doubt? Doubt. Professor is saying something like that. And here our Baba knows that. It's putting you into these bondages. These bondages are liberating. Right. Anything. When Baba says certain words, certain things, right, we call Srimad. Try giving the Srimad to an outside world, to an outside person. Pick a random person in the street and tell him this is Srimad, follow it. He would be like, are you crazy? Who does this? Who does wake up 4 in the morning? Who does this regimented lifestyle, not to eat this, not to eat that. Forget about eating. We are regimented to the extent that we don't even speak certain words. Our vocabulary is so limited. We are not liberated in using the dictionary. Our dictionary is very small. We don't use many of the words. We don't need many of the words. Come golden age, hardly. I think there'll be very few words we use. You leave the body, go to the subtle region, no words, nothing. Go to soul world, forget about nothing. There is really nothingness. So it's when the world looks at us, they think we are crazy. But they don't understand the power behind our craziness. When the world goes through a little turmoil, the first person whom they will run for solution is sitting right here. Right? That is bonding. Bonding. This I have only touched on this physical bonding, the physical layer, the physical plane, the bonding of this corporeal world. And then our Baba says, with all the Srimad given, now connect to me. Now you're bonded with me. From bondage to bondedness. How long would I be bonded to you, Baba? Till you start to reflect me. Right. In old Genesis, there was a passage written on the silversmith and goldsmith. How a goldsmith holds gold. That's how I hold you. That's what the passage in short it says. So the question is, what do you mean by goldsmith holding gold or a silversmith holding silver? In the olden days, they need to sit in a very awkward position to hold that gold or silver for its purification and into that, because it's a burning fire and you are sitting with that element. And added to that, you have to safeguard yourself. You have to see that. Till when you will hold it? This person asked. A silversmith. God says, I hold you like a silversmith holds its metal or a goldsmith holds its metal. So he wanted to know that. He asked the silversmith, how long would you hold this? He said, I will hold till I see my reflection. That then everything made sense. God is holding us. Holding itself means bondage. You are not liberated. Okay. If any of you think that you want to be liberated, sorry. Because Baba acts as three roles: father, teacher, Sadguru. As father, he will put you in bondage. He will put you in his hold. He will hold you tightly. No, you cannot slip, because you slip, you're away from my hand, you're going to hurt yourself. He's holding us very tightly. You might feel uncomfortable. That's okay. But it's God's hold. Till when is he going to hold you? Till he starts to see his reflection on you. This being is reflecting God, the bondage. That is the bonding of love. And from his side, he loves you. That's why I tell everyone when I do the course, don't love God. Don't take that effort to love God. It might be too much. But can you at least allow God to love you? Let this sink in. God is ready to love you. Can I allow God to just love me? He's there. He's holding you. He is the Father. No matter what, He won't let you go. Then He becomes a teacher. Once you are comfortable with that hold of Father, then starts His next job. What is the next job? To teach you, to make you perfect, to make you equal to Him. He's a teacher. Why is He putting you in another bondage? Go to school. It's a bondage. Which child wants to go to school? They want to go out and play, right? Bondage. Puts you in another bondage, right? That bondage is study. Child, always listen to me. Study, study, study. And then we use our own techniques to study. We memorize things. We try to remember things. We do certain things religiously. We try. That's all okay. But then you need to go beyond that too. Oh, hold on. What is beyond that? Is there anything beyond that? Yeah. That's when your maturity kicks in and you want to go to the next relationship. Satguru. Satguru is not on the face. Sadguru is not known. You have to find it. It's hidden. It's subtle. What's the difference between a teacher and a Sadguru? Right? A teacher answers your questions. The Sadguru questions your answers. Think. A teacher answers your question. You have a question. What is this? What is that? What is that? He's answering it. Then Sadguru kicks in. Oh, this is how it should be done. This is how it should be done. This is what it is. This is how. This is how this thing has to go, proceed. When you're in silence, you will see Baba look at you and say, who said? Why so? He is asking the why, and you are liberated. This is how it has to be. The flower vase should exactly be 13 degrees to the side, exactly with white cloth, exactly in this location, exactly. It's very good. It's very important. Why that is important? So that it becomes your sanskar. And as it becomes your sanskar, you will start to hold on to it. This is exactly how you should do it, or else it's not perfect. This is not good. Because if it is something, there is a little aberration in what you have done, you will be upset. That's when Baba looks and says, why? Who said it has to be the flower vase needs to be exactly like that? The book table should be exactly 13 degrees this way, exactly 90 degrees, exactly to this. That's why Baba did not give it to we brothers. They put sisters in front. They are creative. If we brothers were there, we would have created a manual. We would have a scale. Every bogue, there would be other tools to measuring tape, a scale, this thing. We did a skit on that, right? How brothers will do if at all they're put the exact measurement, they do it to the scale, to the thing, because it is their left brain which kicks in, the analytical brain, and you go into the technicalities of it. And Baba said that's not the point. The point is you offering something with love. Basic point is Satguru. How many of you, when you read the Murli, understand those simple things which the Satguru is indicating you? He's teaching you. Every Murli has it, but it needs a separate eye. As a teacher, yes, he tells you. But then as a Sadguru, there are things which you need to sit because through the lens of Sadguru, you understand the psychology of God. That's how you become Bab Saman, right? How will you become Bab Saman? Right. His idea is to make us equal to him. It doesn't happen with just relationship with Father. Father will protect you. Just relationship as a teacher. Teacher is teaching you. You read, you memorize the Murli, imbibe. But how do I become like God? Become like Baba? Your psychology, your psyche needs to be plugged in to Baba. Just take today's Murli, or for you yesterday's Murli, for me it's today's Murli, right? The first line of the Murli. Let's say, जितना हो सके स्वयं को आत्मा समझो. Simple line. There is father in there, there's a teacher in there. Father is, this is for protection. Teacher is the technique, right? He says, स्वयं को आत्मा समझो. Remember, make yourself think, be as a soul. That's a teaching. But did you get the Satguru part of it? Let me repeat that line. जितना हो सके स्वयं को आत्मा समझो. As much as possible, consider yourself to be a soul. The Satguru is hidden in that line, jitna ho sake. As much as possible. God saying it as much as possible. Did you see Satguru there? He is, and you want to become Bab Saman. So, jitna ho sake should be a part of you. If God is telling me jitna ho sake, then you should tell others jitna ho sake. Not pushing anyone out of love. Anyone is doing jitna ho sake, try to do it. Oh, you are not doing this, Maryada. Oh my goodness, I can't be with these people. How can you? Don't be holier than thou. Don't become holier than God Himself. Right? Oh, you are holy, but you have that psychology of God. Jitna ho sake. Imagine you all taking just this one word in your life and implementing it. You're talking to your family, not pushing anyone, telling them, my Baba is saying, Jitna ho sake. Swayam ko atma samjho. Now I am going with the same thing, Jitna ho sake. Your child is coming running to you, Mom, I'm scared, Mom, what will Mom say? No, child, Jitna ho sake aapne kiya, theek hai. Did you see it? Your spouse is coming concerned about certain things. That's okay. जितना हो सके हमने कर दिया, जितना हो सके आपने किया, but it's very good. The first thing they all will feel is liberating. They feel liberated. Why they are liberated? Because somewhere you chose to be in a bondage. Bondage of what? This bondage of love. Love to whom? Love to God. Just bondage. Somewhere you chose. Let me look at him as Father. Let me look at him as Father. Let me look at him as Lord. Let me look at him as Guru. Let me look at him as Then you graduated yourself to teacher. Let me learn from. Now you are trying to understand. No, let me understand the psyche of God. Only then I'll become like Bap Saman, right? Bap Saman means the way he thinks, I'll think. How will I know what he's thinking? In these lines, there are hidden Satguru who is liberating. And you followed the sequence. You understood this. You are liberated. You are liberating others. So your challenge from now onwards when you are listening to Murli is to find those Sadguru in those lines. Right? And there was another line in the Murli where Baba says, कभी तक कर याद की यात्रा को छोड़ना नहीं सदा देही अभिमानी रहने का प्रयत्न करो. Now you are all an expert. The moment I read this line, you figured out the Sadguru in this line. Right? What did Baba say? कभी तक कर याद की यात्रा को छोड़ना नहीं. This is the Sakar Murli I'm talking about. सदा देही अभिमानी रहने का प्रयत्न करो. Attempt, try. That's my Baba. Not pushing, not rigid, fluid. And the same thing, you will take it. You'll take it. Exactly, this is how you'll implement with your colleagues. Prayatna karo. Wake up early in the morning, prayatna karo na. Be a vegetarian, it's okay, prayatna karo. How liberating it is for them. Even your family members, you're not a cult. You're liberating. Prayatna karo. With your love, with your happiness, with your smile. Karo na, prayatna karo. So this is how you pull Sadguru out of the Murlis. Understand how Sadguru is. And now you understand the bonding with God. Your bonding is liberating for many. You are liberated. Right. So looking at time, I have a couple of minutes. So let's ask. We have 10 more minutes, right? Before I need to end. Any questions, or did I confuse you completely, or did I put you all to sleep? Even if I put you all to sleep, please don't go into guilt, because I have this reputation of putting people to sleep. I don't know why Raki Ben still pulls me in. Maybe because some of you might be complaining to Raki Ben saying that हमको नींद नहीं आती Raki Ben. Don't worry, हम गोकुल भाई को बुला देते हैं. He'll put you all to nice sleep. Any questions, or else I'll keep on continuing for another 1 hour. I think I might have really put you all to sleep, right? I did a good job.
Yes, brother, you did a good job of putting me thinking on how limiting can be liberating. And yet grasping that. And one incident I remember, because of kind of choices that we make in our food. One of my friends, Gokul, happened to tell me that we want to celebrate, but how do I take you for food out? Because you have so much of restrictions. And after the pause, the only thing which came around this Vani was it's a choice and no restrictions. That was the only thing that was something which I was getting connected to when you said limit is liberating.
Yeah, that's so true.
So
Food is a big thing.
It's the way we look at or bring a perspective is what is liberating. So the same thing happened 2 days back when I was with a friend of mine, and she said, "Why did you stop eating all of this? We used to have this kind of fun in school days." School friend of mine. And there was only a smile on the face. There's so much of freedom. And hey, Manisha, this is a choice. There is no restrictions. So, how this happens, I have no answer to this. But indeed, that's been an experience which I wanted to share. The limit and liberation, how it gets defeated.
Yeah, that's a fact, right? Limiting is always liberating, and liberating is, see, even when you really look at ourselves, I'm able to see. I'm able to see these beautiful colors. I'm able to see, enjoy the beautiful painting behind the flower vase, the flower. Do you really think this is how it is? This is exactly the color. This is, no. I'm seeing this color because of a limitation. The limitation is my eyes. My eyes can see only within the visible spectrum. Infrared to ultraviolet, I can comprehend. So because of that limitation, I'm seeing the structure, the colors, and everything. If I were able to see beyond ultraviolet and beyond infrared, believe me, this whole thing would be a different thing for us. The colors would have been different, the structure would have been different. And because of the limitation, there's beauty. Even the sound. Those so beautiful songs sister played at the beginning. Why is it so beautiful to me, but not to an insect or for another animal? Because of my limitation, I can hear only within the infrasonic and ultrasonic wavelengths. Anything beyond, I cannot. Anything beyond any of this, I imagine with that music, if I'm able to hear everything, then there's more jarring sound added to it, and it may not be this musical. So, because of the limitation, I'm enjoying the music. Now, take the same analogy and expand on it. You see certain kids with their restricted growth, and we call them all poor kids, poor person. I don't know what karmas they did. They're suffering. I look at them and what do you mean by suffering? They chose to be restricted. Did you ever enter that world? No, you did not. Enter their world. It's so beautiful. You all have psychosomatic diseases, and none of these kids they raised to get any psychosomatic diseases. They're pure at heart. That's the power of limitation. So too with diet. I limit my diet to only these things. I only eat this. Oh, you are restricted. No. Do you know the beauty of this? It's liberating. That's why God has come to put us in a little bond of limitations. And our limitations are liberating us. They will be forced to get into a limitation where their doctor has to kind of look at their cardiogram. Your cardiologist will give them, oh, sorry, no, you eat that. Yeah, be prepared to exit out. And then they will say, oh, I should not eat that, eat this. Man, my Bab has already. So limitations are liberating, and liberation, and that too, when it is coming from voice from beyond, it's powerful. It's not a voice from this corporeal world. Your voices are colored by the corporeal influences. I can always listen to you, but can you guarantee anything that you follow this is going to happen? I'll have a peaceful life, purityful life, loveful life, happy life, blissful life? Can you guarantee it? There's the world has lost guarantees now, right? There was a time when Godrej and big companies had a time where our fathers and grandparents were there. Those companies used to give us guarantees. Now there's no guarantee. There's only warranty. 2-year warranty. उसके बाद आप जानो वो जाने. Yeah, God is giving guarantee because somewhere I chose to not listen to the corporeal voices. I chose to listen to a voice beyond, who has access to a certain dimension, has access to time and space beyond we can even comprehend. Right. Thank you. Any other questions?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Really a wonderful class where it starts with limitation and starts with limitation and ends with liberation. That's the magic which Baba does in our life. What I feel that everybody has got a fixed space, right? And if we limit ourselves, अगर हम सिकुड़ जाते हैं, then we get enough space. And that space is called liberation. That space is called enjoyment. Because liberation, we are getting liberation because we were suffering. And why suffering? Suffering because of body consciousness.
Beautiful.
This limitation that you are not a body, you are just a soul. And when this soul, this limitation we find that we are liberated. Why? Because when we consider ourselves as a soul and when we practice ourselves that I am a soul, I am connected to that Almighty Baba. And connecting to Almighty Baba itself shows that it's a liberation from Shimit se Asamit, Sakar se Nirakar. And when we get that process, it leads to a situation, a stage where it is Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirahankari. Because when it starts with a limit, you can see the word limit, the first letter L, you have to start with loyalty, lawful and loveful. And when we are loveful and loyal to Baba, the another letter I starts with the Purushar that is called introspection in place of inspection. Again, when we're doing inspection, we are seeing the world, but when we're doing introspection, again it is limiting introspection. And then when the introspection is there, we are able to locate our anomalies, negativities, and then the Purushar M starts man manava madhyadi bhavanashtu mahaspati labda. And another letter I makes us independent of all adversities. Then T is a transformation from body conscious to soul conscious. And then starts the journey of silence. The first letter S for Sadguru. And Sadguru helps us to be S, soul conscious. And then again, the introspection, lawful, loveful, E, embodiment of knowledge, embodiment of Murli, or to say Paramatma Swarup. Lastly, then only God leaves us because God finds that, yes, I am liberated. And see again the cheerful face and E, exit from this bodily world. That is limitation, starting with limitation to exit from this bodily world. That is liberation. Om Shanti.
Very good, Sanjay Bhai. Nice.
Om Shanti Gokul Bhai.
Om Shanti.
I think it's just a play of or a struggle of disunity and unity. See, when a child is just planted in the womb of a mother, it knows only one unity, that is that particular umbilical cord which is stuck to the child and the mother. It's absolutely what I call it as the real bonding. Now, when the child accepts the umbilical cord, like for me, bonding is something which is voluntary, which is natural, which is something which as if it was fit to each other. That's that word bonding. Then when the child comes out of the womb, it's not left on its own. The child clings to the mother. It is only later when the child finds the cling too tight, when it feels no, it wants to be liberated. It doesn't like this kind of clinging. It wants to explore the outside world. It wants to see what's happening in the outside world. Does that bonding become a bondage? I always remember one thing when the word divinity comes. I don't know if you have read Tagore's Gitanjali. So in Gitanjali, Tagore mentions that divinity is there in everyone. Only thing they do not have the proper light. That is man, God, and nature. These are the only three aspects of the whole spectra of what you call it as consciousness or humanity. All these three were in perfect harmony and perfect unity and perfect God. Now, then what happened? When one started suspecting the other, one started not knowing the other, the disunity starts. So a supernatural force had to come down and tell these three, you three are part of one. You have to unite together. You have to know what's the light within you. And for that, of course, there were so many things where you have purity, where you have thoughts and all. But in Tagore's Gitanjali, I remember he very beautifully speaks about how the light of God's music will illumine the world. He says, divine, your music illumines my world, your breath runs from sky and all. So I think it is just a play of disunity and all. I cannot think bondage when God is holding, how can it be bondage? It cannot be. It's a kind of a voluntary surrender of the human aspect to that particular supernatural being. If you take it, look it like that. Like I would like to observe this concept of divinity more from Tagore's viewpoint as Gitanjali. That was a beautiful poem which really used to touch my heart. So there's no question of divinity. Bonding is natural. There's no question of compulsiveness in it. It was together, it has been split, and now it's going together. It's just a story of being together and being separate. I don't know. I take it in that spectrum. Om Shanti.
Very good. Wonderful. Any other thoughts?
Om Shanti. In a different aspect, when you find a seed which is put in the ground, वो अपना अस्तित्व को खो देता है, भूल जाता है, उसका अस्तित्व सब कुछ खत्म हो जाता है. But when the seed goes in the ground, it gives birth to a tree, right? So the जो बीज है वो सब कुछ अपना त्याग दिया, जिस तरह से ब्रह्मा बाबा ने किया. उन्होंने सब कुछ खत्म कर दिया, सब कुछ स्वाहा कर दिया. Then a tree came, और उस ट्री के छाया में अभी हम सब हैं. तो bowing the seed in the ground is a limitation, and the tree comes out a big tree, and in that is liberation. Not only liberating the self, but also liberating others, which Baba says. स्व को भी लिबरेट करो और दूसरे को भी लिबरेट करो. So while त्याग, खुद को भी त्याग दिया, अपने अस्तित्व को भी तन मन धन सब स्वाहा कर दिया, that is बीज पूरे जमीन में चला गया, and then the tree comes. It is liberating the tree. The bees is also liberated, and the tree also give liberation to others. That is what I feel. And in our freedom struggle, what happened? All were divided, right? Everybody said unity, unity. When there is unity, again it is limitation, right? And when there is unity, it's strength. And when there is strength, there the liberation starts. It happens like that. Om Shanti.
Wonderful. Good ideas. Okay, I think we are going beyond time now. Yes.
Now we have time till 6 o'clock. Oh, why?
Okay.
while Sanjay Bhai was talking about this, and when we are talking about limitations and liberation, if you connect to this aspect of Sambandh, relationship with one Baba, okay, takes you off from the entire Vevichari space, which we speak about having so many relationships, and you have made pieces of your heart when Baba gives you peace of your heart.
Mhm. I love that.
For me, I just wanted to add, I loved the beginning of your conversation when we were having this discussion that it is not just bondage, it is bonding. And I think that's very, very relevant because whatever you get stuck in or you feel limited by is that vibration of bondage. Whereas when you bond, there is no bondage, there's only unconditional love.
Yeah.
And when you bond without expectations, and the thing about Baba is that there are no such expectations. There's unconditionality in whatever is being given to you. And when you receive it with that kind of divine connection, that divinity is already within you. But that connection is what opens it, what sparks that bond. Everything else is to me worldly drama. You do this, you do that, that is just a process because we have to live this life. And different people do different things, and they're all right and wrong in their own way. As long as that essence of unconditional love continues to persist with that one and only, it doesn't matter really. Because otherwise, you get stuck in bondage. You're not really bonding. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Great points. Great journeys. That's good.
Uh, just one thought here. Limiting, our love to the one, right? We actually receive the unlimited from the one. So where, what are we limiting? Our intellects wandering outside and the dependency that we have on the people and the desire for the name, fame, and the outside pleasures, right? Limiting all this, we are actually receiving unlimited. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Very good. Wonderful, Baiji. Excellent. Great points. Any other points?
Om
And I
Shanti,
see.
brother. Yeah. You know, when I started this journey, um, naturally the home front, many people started attending classes with me as well. But this interpretation of Baba's knowledge in took another way for them and a different way for me. They did mention that when Baba says that the upcoming world you have to do purusharth, you have to restrict these things, and you have to only love me. No, that was interpreted again by the family members as it is similar to what lobe, what calm you have for Loki. Aren't you doing it purely in your own terms? I mean, when we think of seva, do unlimited seva, be involved in this, isn't it that you're all tiring yourself? You're getting into that constant way of working like the rest of them. But then I did find that the world that the Lokik ones are creating with these similar things and the world that Baba's children are creating are are different. And this side is lot more good. The Baba's family is lot more good than the Lokik. That is actually both way they are unlimited. One is under creation, one is already created and about to be destroyed. But the new order of the world that Baba's children are creating is truly liberating.
So
Thank you.
true.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Vinod Bhai. That's great. Great inputs. Anyone else? Because every time we think on our knowledge, it's like layers after layers, right? And then basically again it boils down to the same thing, that you have to become like Bapsama. We have examples. And Baba will not allow us to get stuck in anywhere because he understands these children has to go out and rule, and not rule just a person or for a couple of years. America considered to be the world's most powerful country, or supposed to be. Even the president has only 2 terms. Then he has to relinquish that. But you all have to rule for whole life. That you have to learn, rule over the entire elements. Entire. So imagine the type of training he will be giving us. Imagine the type of sustenance he'll be giving us. Imagine what he puts us through. So that's the beauty of Ayurveda. And for me at least, it always boils down to looking at our ancestor souls. Right? When in doubt, look at them. At that point, no matter what books you read, and especially now books are becoming even more dangerous because it's you're soaking in another person's ideas, you're putting it in, you get caught. It'll take you because even that's what happened with Shastras, right? Shastras and Upanishads. You read an Upanishad, your ego will boost through the life, through the roof. It's not a joke. It'll because once your mind expands to a certain dimension, it can never come back to its original. And that's why people outside in the Laukik world says, yeah, you read books, you need to read them, you need to read this, you need to read that, because it expands. But Baba knows more, because once it expands, it cannot come into this. So there is even trap there. Right? Then you have to read the whole thing, entire books you have to. You need to start with Shastras, Upanishads, Angas, Upangas, Agamans, Upagamans, Itihasa. And then you will come to a state. Right? You have to complete the whole thing then. Don't just read an Upanishad and get your ego over the roof and come to a state and preach others. No. If you read this, did you even read this? Did you even read this? You have to go through the whole thing. Because then you cannot, they cannot. Did anyone really go through them? Yes, they did. There are people who went through that whole thing of learning the whole thing. And when they reach that pinnacle, that zenith, it boils down to 2 words. Actually, a single word. And that is neti, neti. Neither this nor that. We don't know. So if you're reading books, yeah, it has to go to that limit. Read everything, then come to the state, I don't know. And that's where Baba kicks in. That's where Baba begins. That's where you open up for the voice beyond. That's why I was emphasizing on the fact. When you are heard enough of the voices from the corporeal world, you start to look above. And we need examples. Okay, that higher, that voice up there. Give me some example. You have. Look at Gulza Dadi. Be like that. Look at Prakashmani Dadi. There was a person who came and started to scream and say things at Dadi. Dadi was just soaking it in. She listened the whole thing. She said, okay, अभी चलो. लंच का टाइम हो गया, सभी हम खाते. क्या खाना है आपको बताओ. Like this, she changed. Simple wisdom. No complicated debates. Not proving anyone wrong, not quoting any books. This is said that, that said that, this is here, this is true, you are true. No. Do you have the energy? Do you have the power to shift another person's energy? That Baba teaches us. For that, there needs to be harmony. For harmony, you have to do a very difficult thing. अंदर से आपको हार माननी है. मैं हार मान लिया. I put down my weapons. And I'm listening only to you. The HMV record. How many of you are from that generation? What, those gramophones, those tapes where it says HMV. How many of you know that logo of HMV? Yeah, many of you might be knowing it, I hope. What does that logo say? It's a gramophone and the dog is just with the face on that gramophone with the tail wagging. HMV stands for, do you know that
His
definition?
master's voice.
Exactly. His master's voice. I stop my intellect. I will listen to that voice with that curiosity, wagging my tail, just listening to that word from ether, the sound from ether. That's my Baba's voice. And I keep down. I lay down my weapons, lay down my intellectual prowess on the subjects which I know, the books I read, the quotes I can give. And I just go back to my Murli. Because whom do I want to be like? God. Listen to him. Dadi, Gulsa Dadi, Prakashmani Dadi. They are Dadi Janki. They are examples. Go back to these Dadis. Not even any other being. Not even Gokul Bhai. Not even any other. We are sharing. Just because I got a platform to share my thought doesn't mean that I know all this. I might be lesser than many of you. They are on a journey. But somewhere we understood harmony. हमने हार मान ली भाई. तुम लोग जीत लो. I want to be in harmony. My intellectual prowess I have put down. Now I am with God. You lead me the way. Still, if you think that you have something in you, you can go ahead. The world is still open. Somewhere these few people, we decided, no, enough. We are with God, we'll be with Him, we'll listen to Him. Understanding Him itself is a university. Understanding Him as Dad is something, Father itself is a challenge. Then understanding Him as a teacher, memorizing the Murli points, understanding the Murli points, what it is. Then come to Sadhguru and understand what Sadhguru is, his psychology, how he thinks. And I need to tweak, tune, train myself to be like that. It's another challenge and by itself, right? Sorry, I was saying all this to kick up your curiosity if you have any other things to share.
Yeah, now the clock is ticking.
Yes.
This time, let's move on to a quick small meditation.
Yes. Just take a moment, take a deep breath, just exhale. And it's all take just a second is all it'll take for you to focus your attention right in the middle of the forehead. My eternal, immortal throne. I'm sitting there. And I choose to come out of this throne because I'm the king. Just gently step out of this body. Now turn around and look at the body. How peacefully it is sitting, rested, happy, the smile on the face. You look at that body and say, thank you. You've been with me in this journey for so long. We had many ups and downs. We've weathered through many storms. It's all good. I love you. I really love you. I really respect you. Thank you for everything. But now I have to move on, go on to another journey. And now let me face away from that body and look above. There is a place of light. It's pulling me into that beautiful, bright red light. Less than a second is all it takes for me to be transported into that realm of light. And whom do I see there? My dad, my Baba. He's waiting for this moment to be with his child, with me. And our communication is so different. He thinks and I get exactly what he's thinking, what he's saying. I see those beautiful rays come and drench and soak me as if he's embracing me and saying, child, come, it's been long. Be with me. Let me fill you with a lot of power. That's all a dad will do when the child comes home, to fill. And he's filling in me. Even a second with him feels like a lifetime. And gently come back into the body. A second is all it takes. You find it yourself back in the middle of in the center of the forehead. You feel alive. There's life in you and a renewed energy to take on the world, to take on this day. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Brother Gokul. That was a very, very nice meditation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Thank you, everyone, for gathering here today and sharing all our different perspectives on this wonderful subject of bonding with divinity. Thank you, brother, once again.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me. Om Shanti.